Hello everyone and welcome to the Kukuli Bushcraft channel. Okay, so we're at the start of December and this is about as much light as we're going to have until January when the sun comes back. We've got polar night right now, so the sun doesn't rise at the moment. It's just below the horizon, giving us a bit of light. So the snow helps. The snow reflects a lot of light. And when you've got a full moon, it's actually really nice, really beautiful light. But this is a video about basically how to dress and how to deal with these conditions. I'm wearing two pairs of gloves. The inner ones are those cheap magic gloves. I like those because you can buy lots of them and have dry spares in all of your pockets. So they're really quite good for that. You want a big coat and you want to not wear it unless absolutely necessary, just in case, for wearing while at rest. So apart from that, I've also got a big fluffy trapper hat and lots of layers. These are my work clothes, so they're a bit tatty, but they're mostly wool. Wool is excellent. And for the final base layer, I usually have merino wool with something synthetic underneath. That way I can reuse the merino wool and change regularly the cheaper synthetic base layer. And cover your face. So particularly if you're snowmobiling or dog sledding, it's good to have a buff, a scarf, buff, snood, neck gaiter, whatever you want to call these things. Pull it up as far as you can under your hat. Under this hat I can also fit another thin beanie. But yeah, cover your nose. Otherwise this is what happens. So my nose got a little bit frozen the other day and now it's starting to peel. So yeah, frost damage starts with your flesh turning white. Basically white and hard and waxy. It is, I mean, people recommend carrying a mirror in a survival tin or whatever for signalling. It's also quite good to have one as if you're out in the wilderness on your own in the cold, so as you can check on your nose. But yeah, this happened through being out on the snowmobile and through not checking often enough. I had a buff over my face, but it had fallen down a little bit. It was all wet and frozen, which is another issue I have, is I actually really don't like to have anything over my face unless absolutely necessary, because what happens is it freezes to me beard. So maybe better not to have a beard. But yeah, I've had frostbite quite a few times. So as if it just turns white, if you warm it up, if it's on your nose with your hand, fingers, thumbs, your armpit or someone else's armpit, and yeah, as if you get the colour back quite quickly, then it's no big deal. But once it starts to turn black, you know, then you're going to shed a lot of skin and feel quite a lot of pain, and you could even lose a finger, but that's really quite extreme. The one most important piece of equipment, to my mind, if you're going to be camping, is you want the very best sleeping bag that you can afford. So this is the Corinthia Defense 6, and it's got a comfort rating, and you want to look for the comfort rating. You know, extreme rating means you're not going to die. But this has got a comfort rating of about -20, something like that. So it's a little bit narrow around the chest, and that's for me. I'm not exactly a big lad, but it's a good warm sleeping bag for a good price. And what as if it's below -20? Well, if it's below -20, I've got my summer sleeping bag. So this is an old sleeping bag. I've had this on its own down to about -7. It's down, it's got a few less feathers in it. Now it's good to round about 0, but inside of this it's toasty. So as not to compress this too much, I don't keep it in its stuff stack, I keep it in a bivvy bag. But I might actually put the bivvy bag on the floor, but as an extra platform in case I roll off me sleep pad. But bivvy bags, sleeping inside a bivvy bag when it's cold, bad idea. You get a lot of condensation. You need to be able to breathe a little bit. And another little tip, what I like to do, and I've said this before on videos, but Nalgene bottles, you can do the same with a flask, it'll release heat slower. But I fill a Nalgene bottle full of hot water and I sleep with it between me thighs. So, you know, you've got major arteries going down here, so it keeps your feet nice and warm. And because it's wedged in here, you're keeping the bottle warm while the bottle's keeping you warm. So, good little tip. Also, all the time, feed yourself well, lots of carbohydrates. You know, you can really do some dirty things like hot chocolate with a spoonful of margarine. Get calories down you and stay hydrated. And staying hydrated can be a bit problematic because all the water's frozen. But, you know, you can make a fire, you can melt water. You can't melt water, Uni. Don't you know? You can melt the snow. So there is actually a lot of water out there. It's just not so accessible. Boots. Okay, so as if you're going away to abroad to a country like Finland, for example, buy the boots in the country that you're going to. So buy a size too big at least, because you want 2 or 3 pairs of socks underneath. And winter boots generally come with a removable liner, so they're waterproof but they don't breathe. I mean, of course you can do your research, you can get mucklucks and things like that, but yeah, so this I've been wearing all day. It's now wet. So these come out every night to be dried. And another little tip is always make sure that you've got your trousers or your outer trousers on the outside of your boot, because otherwise you're going to get snow in there. When I'm at work, I generally wear a pair of thick padded trousers. When I'm not, I wear these. These are a pair of fishing over trousers from Aldi. So these cost, I think, about £26 from Aldi in the UK. I've had them for a few years and they're really, really seriously warm. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But yeah, something like this is absolutely great. Yeah, you can roll around in the snow and it doesn't bother you. You should do a bit of reading up about frostbite and hypothermia, and just remember, when your core temperature starts to drop, your body takes blood away from the extremities, and your extremities are hard enough to keep warm anyway. You know, if you put too many layers over your hands, you can barely move them, and if you've got to do things, yeah, you've got to be able to move your hands. But once they get cold, you can't move them anyway. As if you can do that, then that's a good test to see as if you're getting into trouble with the coldness of your hands, as if you can touch your thumb with your little finger. And yeah, so keep your core temperature warm, and it's going to protect your hands from frostbite and your body from hypothermia. Well, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and if anyone's got any questions, please drop us a comment, and yeah, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you all again soon for another Kukuli Bushcraft video. Bye for now.